Hi, I'm Frank from I'mGonnaLoseIt.com, and if you haven't seen me in a while, I've lost quite a bit. I'm down 45 pounds in 36 days. So, anyways, I have a bunch of people have been asking me, how do you make the mean green? What's in it? You know, how do you make that juice? So here it is. This is all the stuff. Got romaine lettuce. I got a kiwi. I'll tell you a little more about that later. I got some ginger, cucumber, a lemon, 4 green apples, a handful of kale, a little less than I like, but I'm out tonight, so I got. But the kale, spinach, carrots to help sweeten it, and some celery. Okay, so here's how I do it. I first of all, I start with the kale, and I peel that off of the stem. The reason I do that is because the stems are pretty bitter. So if we peel it off the stem, and then I throw what's left of the stem away, get all the leaves off, and I make a little pile here. So I'm going to do that real quick. The kiwi is also to help take away some of the bitterness, and something I found out after I had tried doing this for quite a while, and my daughter actually found it on a recipe online and said put a kiwi in there. So that's why we use that kiwi. That one little kiwi helps take away a lot of the bitterness from the kale. So now that I've got all the stems stripped off, I use 4 to 5 romaine lettuce leaves. Just break them off. I like to get good sized leaves because what I do with them is I use them to hold the spinach and kale together while I'm running it through the juicer, so we get a lot of it juiced up. So anyways, the next thing I do is I get everything cut and ready to go. Carrots, I just cut the end off it. I throw that away. And then I cut it in half so I can fit it through the juicer a little easier. Celery just like it is, spinach, kale. The apples I cut first one way, then the other. That's ready to go. One of the things I found is it's kind of easy. It's hard to pull the stems out sometimes. So I cut it, and then I pull that stem out, comes right out, and I cut it the other way. Once everything's cut and ready to go, it'll be a lot easier process. I don't worry about the seeds because the juicer that I have just kicks them right out. There's some juicers that will recommend that you take the seeds out on the apples, but our juicer is pretty good when it cuts, just sends it right out. So I cut those up. Lemon, I usually like to cut the ends off, just so that it goes through there easier, and then I cut them in half. I like the rind. Some people like to take that yellow part off, so you got them white. I just use the rind. Cucumber, cut it in half, ready to go. Kiwi, same thing. Ginger, this is a ginger root. Some people haven't seen this before. I like a lot of ginger, so I usually use about a thumb size piece. But tonight I'm gonna do just about that much. I get about a piece about like that, about the size of my thumb, maybe a little bit smaller. And then I like to cut the ginger in a few pieces so that it goes through the juicer a lot easier. It's kind of a thick root, it's got some fiber in it. So I got all my pieces, and I'm ready to start juicing.
How much more kale? Double that?
Maybe about a third more than that. I normally would have a little more kale in there, but we're all out. We got to go to the store tomorrow. So we like to start the juicer ahead of time. You want to start a couple of seconds ahead. And then, like I said, I use the romaine leaves to hold the kale together. If you don't do that, I found that it just goes right through the juicer, and you know, you don't get a whole lot of juice out of it. So this helps you get an optimal juice. So I use it like this, kind of push it down in there, and then I like to follow that with a cucumber. What happens is that's real dense stuff, the kale, and the cucumber is got a lot of juice in it, so it pushes all the juice out of the kale through the system. So a pretty good green right there. Again, I like to do the more dense stuff like the kale and the spinach before I do the other stuff. The apples go through pretty good, and they tend to push stuff out. Use the romaine leaves again. I'll push it through. So, gonna push that through. Celery, carrots are another thing that kind of has a lot of juice, so push that stuff through. We'll follow up that carrot juice. Carrots go through pretty easy. And what's left of our little pieces here. Put them in the romaine. Put the romaine in there. Another thing that's kind of dense is that ginger root. It's got some good fiber in it, so I want to put that in there. Let that run through. I'm going to follow that up with cucumber. And now push that ginger. That smells good. And then apples. Don't try to do too many at once, so I use 4 or 5 little pieces at a time. Push it right on through. You don't want to press too hard on your juicer, but sometimes you have to give it a little push. Just keep a steady pressure on it. 4 or 5 in there. Stubborn right there. Sometimes the celery will help push that through. There we go. Do something to loosen it up. Pretty good juice from that celery. Now push that apple out. Last 2 pieces of the apple. And once you prepped, it goes pretty quick. Lemon. I like to put the kiwi in now, and then follow it up with the celery. And the celery will push the rest of it through. And something else. Pretty much it. That's the Mean Green. One of the things I do with this now, I like to put it in mason jars. We'll kind of show you how this works. Turn that off real quick. I like to stir it up with a spoon, because the pulp kind of gathers at the top. So I like to stir it up a little bit. And mason jars, you can buy 12 of them for like $10 at the store. It's not a big investment, but it'll help you keep your juice fresher longer. And I drink this all day long. There's one. These are 12-ounce jars, and I'll fill up 3 of them out of that pile of veggies that we just stuck in here. And sometimes I have a little bit left over, and I usually stick that in a glass and drink it up. So there you have it. Mean Green, all gone. So I'm Frank Cugini from I'mGonnaLoseIt.com, and this is my Maddawg Mean Green. Hope that helps any of you guys that have questions about how to make it, what goes into it. It's a pretty quick process, and I drink this all day long, and it's helped me lose 45 pounds. So I'mGonnaLoseIt.com, and juice on.